All right. I got. Hold on a second. Are we on? Is this on, Tim? We.
Mm.
I.
Did you forget how to use it? You gotta
Man,
go up there, and go live,
because it's
Yeah.
been. It's been a
One,
while. It's been
two,
a while.
okay.
I haven't. Hello. Is this thing
Do you
on?
are you on the right show?
Is this thing on?
You even here? Oh, hey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. I hit it. I hit the right button. I'm not used to this stuff, man. What do you want me to do? The other show I did last week, they do it for me. I got a guy for that. Got a guy for that. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. Traveled around, man. Travel around. Italy is beautiful. That was a trip of a lifetime, man. I'm glad I went, but it took a lot out of me. Got a lot done, saw a lot, and then came back sick. Just what everybody wants to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a group of 4 of us, and all 4 of us came back sick. The wife was a couple days ahead of me. I thought I was going to miss the bad part of it.
Yeah.
And wham! Like 3 days after I was back, I was like, "Oh no!" Yeah, it was the
Yeah, it
cold,
always
shakes, everything, aches.
it always seems to happen that way, especially when you're traveling. It's like, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good," and then somebody gets sick. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
well, fortunately, you sleep next to your wife, so you're eventually gonna get it. It don't matter it don't matter what you do, you're still gonna get it because she sleeps right next to you.
Double A says, "Who they didn't know there was a show tonight?" I would love to make the joke and say, "What do you mean? It's Wednesday,
We It's
8:05."
Wednesday. I know.
Yeah.
Like, did you forget what channel this was, Austin? This
Y-
is Running Through the Jungle,
You never know.
8:05.
Yeah, you guys did a good job. While I was gone, did some things, but yeah, it's been a rough one, no doubt. Between your work and my travel, it's been a tough schedule. Um,
Mhm.
and we were discussing backstage. A lot of stuff we're gonna do, kind of like when things are on our mind. Especially during the off season, things hit on weird times, so we may record at different times, put stuff out at different times, but we're going to be here to get your Cincinnati Bengals and NFL AFC North news. But it's maybe not quite as consistent with the live shows as we are during the season, just because we need to get. I don't want everybody else talking about the good stuff and us being late to the program, and I don't want to with things the way things are in the off season, sometimes it's lulls and sometimes it's hot. And
Mhm.
like right now, a little bit of a lull. A little bit of a
Yeah.
lull. I don't even know a lot of people are looking forward to the Super Bowl. That's
I'm,
right.
well, I live in Seattle, so my mother-in-law's stoked about the
Mm.
Seahawks. I'm excited. I'm rooting for them. It's the last time that I really watched them play was on the pick six, the Pats return
I,
for a touchdown. So
I'll be rooting for McDonald's, so
yeah.
gotta know where it is. But hey,
Mhm.
let's get into talking a little bit about the Bengals and football in general. Let's go. All right, welcome back once again. We are running through the jungle. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, with your host, Tim Lyons. How's it going, Tim?
What to do? What to do? What to do?
Well, hey, I was planning on going, pull the band-aid, get through some of the bad news I want to get into, some of the, I want to say BS I'd like to discuss, we'll call it. But I'm telling you, man, sometimes you just gotta listen to the chat. The chat's already talking about the Pro Bowl, so we might as well get into it. Double A. Thank you for rocking with us as always. This is the Bengals are balling out last night during the Pro Bowl. Yeah, we had a pair of quarterbacks. That's not normal.
Yeah.
Playing flag football.
Mm-hmm.
That's not normal.
We had a wide receiver playing safety.
Yeah, with a pick six. That's
Pick
not
six.
normal.
Mm-hmm.
You had a quarterback who I think we had 31st best passer rating in the NFL in the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's not normal. What do you think of the new Pro Bowl? The new flag football Pro Bowl, Tim? What's your take on it?
You know, I've discussed this before. You know, if you guys watched Justin and I on our NFL Friday show, that's what the new name's going to be, the NFL Friday show, because it's about to end. We're about to have our last episode on Friday for the Super Bowl picks. All right. But anyways, it's a fan fest. It's exactly what the Pro Bowl is. It's a fan fest. It's no longer, Steve Atwater going out there head hunting Christian Okoye, anymore. It's flag football. It's like it's schoolyard. They're out there playing football at recess. It's nothing big. It's not. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that the fans picked X, Y, and Z to go to the Pro Bowls or whatever. And I know it's important for them for their Hall of Fame ballots, Pro Bowls, and All Pros and all this other stuff. But other than that, it's just recess. It's just fun time for the guys to be able to just relax and chill and and just do what they love to do, is go out there and play football and be out there for the fans. Like I said, it's a fan fest. I'm not like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't even watch it last night. I forgot it was on last night. Yeah, I forgot it was on last night, and I really wasn't that. It wasn't that important to me. I saw our own Justin Lacey was putting out some Twitters of the Bengals were out there carrying the AFC team, and they were pretty much scoring. I saw the highlights, on Instagram and all that stuff this morning, and but other than that, it ain't nothing for me. It's not something I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, stop, let me go out there and watch the Pro Bowl. No, it's just not that important.
Mr. Woodside, thanks for rocking with us. It's Pro Bowl, lost, recess. Well said. It's recess from '84.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of is.
It is.
Here's the one thing I will say. Only negative I'm going to be smirch on this Pro Bowl is the Pro Bowl no longer in modern football has any cachet. It should not be on your resume anymore.
Right.
All the alternates and all the other stuff that should not go on your resume. I don't think Joe Flacco should be able to put he's a Pro Bowler in 2026 on his resume. I don't think Shedeur Sanders should be able to put that on there. I don't think Joe Burrow should, quite honestly. So now, to me, when you start talking about the resumes you're looking at and going into Canton and the Hall of Fame and stuff like that, now it's just all pros.
Right.
Pro Bowls don't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
You got to be one of the best now to really for it to amount to a hill of beans.
Yeah.
So that's my only negative. But it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
They're interacting, they're talking more. You hear them, do some playground plays and fun stuff. It's kind of cool. We have here. Ooh, you want to go? CD. What's that?
It's C. Donalo. He's a good buddy of mine.
C. Donalo, 1991.
He's a Chargers fan and a Joe Burrow hater.
Okay, so he says, what's it say about Joe Burrow when during the Pro Bowl he was asked what quarterback does he look up to? And his reply was, in the NFL, I don't. He thinks that C. Donalo thinks that's a little bit arrogant. I mean, present day, is he supposed to look up to people that he feels are his peers? Like, I don't know.
I guess here's the problem. And I'm gonna paint some pictures for you. You got these Chargers fans that are trying to compare Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. Joe Burrow's on a different level. You guys will never experience an elite quarterback like the Cincinnati Bengals have. Joe Burrow has a right to be arrogant, have a chip on his shoulder, go out and play. But yeah, I know you're gonna bring up the whole, he's gotten injured, blah 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 blah. But when he's on the field, he commands the field. He commands that offense. He's good at what he does. Very good at what he does. If he wants to put out a little bit of arrogance, that's fine, because during the regular season, he's actually very modest and, very to the point of answering questions, and, doesn't have any chippiness or cockiness to his speeches. But hey, you know what? It's during that fun time. You know what? I'd be the same way. Who do I look up to in the NFL right now? If I was Joe Burrow, who would I look up to?
I mean, if you're top 5 in the NFL at your position, what's the real answer to that question?
Right.
Hold on a second. I know what the program answer is. I know what coach speak answer is. I know what the BS answer is. And one of the things that I've liked more about Joe Burrow over the last year, he's been more honest in his answers in post-game interviews, during the week interviews, all those things. He's been more honest about his answers. I dig it. I'm cool with it. I don't know that who you look up to. That's just it's a bad way to phrase that question. The person answering the question should have said, in today's NFL, what other quarterbacks do you look at and admire their game?
Yeah, that probably would have been a better way to put it.
Now you can answer that question without looking like a schmuck.
Yeah, I agree.
And it might have been just her. Hey, listen, man. You got McDaniel going to it's not San Diego, it's the Chargers, right? Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, Los Angeles
I think
Chargers.
it's San Diego, but I get why.
I probably did. Yeah,
but maybe I just thought it in my head because I do it all the time. But you got the Chargers. I like McDaniel going there. Obviously I like Harbaugh. I got a statue of him somewhere back there. I got a that's him getting yelled at by Bo Schembechler right here behind me. So yeah, fan, right? But I will say, I think Herbert's going to have one of his better years next year. I think he could get into that, basically where they've been talking about him being at, without him quite getting there, because he didn't have weapons around him. His offensive line got decimated this year. I could see him finally getting there. I think he's a top 6, definitely a top 8, top 6 quarterback next year, which a lot of people would probably say he is, without really having the resume to back that up. My opinion. And I'm pretty sure now we have Cedanolo is gone. He left the chat. Upset. But it is what it is. He's number 9. He's number 9 quarterback in the league. I think I did this the other day. Maybe 8 or 9. I got Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, in no particular order on Mount Rushmore. Then you got Stafford. And then I start looking at people like, Love, Purdy, Dak, Herbert, all in that same next grouping. And I think I put Caleb Williams right there on the top 10.
Yeah, he could be. Hey, that's the thing is you can pull up all these quarterbacks and we can, have our fandom or actually state the facts of the matter. All it is.
I think there's 6 through 9 is a nice cluster, and I think 10 through 13 is a nice cluster of very close. I think they're clustered in 4 or 5 apiece.
Yeah, that's fair.
But what are we going to do? But yeah, listen. What are you going to do with the Pro Bowl? It is what it is now. The guys are now making way too much money for them to risk injury in a game that doesn't mean anything. So they're out there playing. Now they did dive for a pylon, Sutton did, and they still had some fun moments in the game. Like I said, hearing them like kind of calling their own audibles off to the side with guys was kind of fun. Seeing guys playing out of position was kind of fun. Seeing a big guy catch a touchdown is always fun.
Mhm.
But like I get why it is what it is now. We just have to accept it and move on. But it's cool to see
and it's not,
Bengals out there.
but it's not. It's just like out of all the All-Star games. So you got the NHL, you got Major League Baseball, you got basketball, and then you got the NFL. When it comes to the NBA, we look forward to. Well, I don't even watch the NBA anymore, but you look forward to in the All-Star game the 3-point contest, the slam dunk contest, in the Major League Baseball, you got the home run derby, and then you got the All-Star game.
Yeah.
NHL, I don't know if they do anything special. I don't really watch NHL, but I know the All-Star game, is pretty fun to watch. But then you got flag football for the NFL. It's like, what the hell? Flag football. Of all things, flag football. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. But I'm happy for the fans. The fans that got to go out there, to Orlando and got to experience it. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's not going to change. They're not going to put it back in the bottle. I think the argument would be that, the average career in the NFL is probably a lot less than Major League Baseball or some of those other ones. Hockey can make an argument probably for it, but I'm guessing that's the argument. Yeah. All right, listen. Off-season shows. They're all going to be shorter. That's good for you guys. You can get your fill of us in smaller bursts, but we're going to take a quick break here from our sponsors, and we'll be right back after these messages. All right, once again, you are back with Runnin Thru the Jungle. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, with your host, Tim Lyons. Tim's hit the button for me. If you have not, please like, subscribe, thumbs up, rate, review, tell a friend about us. We need you to spread the word.
Share.
About
share.
Running
share,
through the
share.
jungle. Share.
We want to grow, guys. We honestly do. We want to grow. Like, I know we're at a stalemate right now, but we want to grow. So share with your friends, please.
All right. So in this shitburger of an episode, I'll call it, we're gonna get into the part that stinks a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been real happy about the offseason so far for Cincinnati Bengals, man. There's a whole lot of nothing happening.
Yeah. And we expect it because when does the tampering or free agency actually begin? Isn't that after June 1st?
Expect it, or do we just learn to accept it? I feel like we've been beaten into submission.
Accept it. We've learned to accept it, unfortunately, as Bengals fans.
3 out of the 4 coaches in the AFC North lost their job.
Mm-hmm.
And I can definitely argue the one that probably deserved to lose their job the most did not.
Right.
And that would be our Mr. Zach Taylor. Were you surprised at all that there wasn't any moves with Zach Taylor or with our front office? Tobin's the guy for the job, and Mr. Brown comes out and says they got the right guys in place. They just need to, I don't know, do the same thing they have been the last couple of years, which has been failing miserably.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm 100% putting it on Mike Brown himself as the owner. He's 90 years old. I think I'm more looking at Katie Blackburn and those folks than Mike Brown because, Mike Brown is the owner, but he's 90 years old. So I'm not really going to put it on Mike Brown. Was I surprised? No. Why do I say that? Because you think about it over the past years, it took us 16 seasons to get rid of Marvin Lewis. 16 seasons. Zach Taylor.
A lot of mediocrity.
Yeah, I think Zach Taylor's job secured because of Joe Burrow. I really do. I think it's because of Joe Burrow. Even though we've had shitty seasons the last 2 seasons, Joe's experienced injuries and so on and so forth, shitty play calling, whatever. But I think Joe Burrow has really, like, he's secured his job. Like Joe Burrow has gotten, people jobs. Like Brian Callahan, you went out and seen him go to Tennessee and shit the bed, and they fire him a year and a half in. Bye bye. Have a nice day. But
So do you think Zach Taylor's job security is just as much as what Joe signs off on you? We're gonna run it back.
Yeah, I do. I think it's that. I honestly think it's that because I think the reason why Lou got fired was because Zach said, "No, you're not doing what I need you to do. You're out of here." I don't think that came up. I don't think that came from the front office. I think the head coach went to the front office and said, "Hey, Lou and his defense is not making it." Da 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 da. But as we see, that didn't work out either because we still have the same personnel that Lou had when he was last year. The same personnel, maybe plus or minus one or two other guys. It didn't make a difference. It really didn't. But now when it comes to Duke Tobin, I was very disappointed that we kept Duke Tobin. Very disappointed because he's the GM. He's the one that's making those decisions on who we're bringing in, if we're not bringing them in, if we're the player personnel and all that stuff. He has failed us over the last however many years he's been with us with the draft. The draft has been a flop. We've been flopping on the draft ever since Jamar Chase was at number one, that first round draft pick. Ever since Joe Burrow was that number one draft pick. I don't know if Tobin was in the office during those times or not. I don't know when he came in, but I was very disappointed with Tobin not getting fired.
I was surprised. But I'll say this, much like last season in the offseason when we had, the big contracts to get signed, and I said, if we get 3 of the big 4, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Or if we get 2 and we get pieces for all the other 2,
right,
I'll accept it. I'll accept Duke Tobin staying here if we add 3 more pieces to that front office this offseason as far as full-time staff in scouting and player development. The minimum 3. We need to start acting like a professional organization in that regard to me.
But didn't he already, I don't mean to interrupt you, but didn't he already state that he wasn't going to do anything, upgrade the scouting?
I've heard that the front office said that they were going to look at how they run the front office based upon conversations that basically went on with Joe Burrow. I haven't heard anything since then. Okay. Let's just put it wasn't news in Italy. Maybe I might have missed it, but
it wasn't news in the United States either.
Okay. So I would like to see them do some things there.
Right.
Do I think they're going to? Probably not. I think I got pretty lucky with the signings from last year. I don't think I'm going to get my desires this year.
Well, I don't know. I think, like, I know my 2, and I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but
you're good.
Okay, so I think our main 2 focuses this year for extensions is Chase Brown and DJ Turner. Maybe Dax Hill. Dax Hill, I'd say yes. Well, was Dax the year before Turner, or was he at? Okay, so Dax Hill, DJ Turner, and Chase Brown. Those are my 3 that they really need to get right and do it right. And of course, Dalton Reisner. They need to get Reisner signed and in the door right now.
Yeah, Reisner's one of those guys for his for what it's going to cost you and what it does as far as just having some leadership in that interior line. I think both Fairchild and Jalen Rivers both learned from him. And he played well when he was in there too. So
yeah,
I think it's a win-win-win. I think he wants to be here. I don't think it's going to cost you a whole lot. That
Right.
seems like a pretty easy signing to me. I would also agree with Chase Brown vehemently, but I also think that we need to have listen. If Taj Brooks, they didn't feel he was the answer, we need to draft probably a running back again this year.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I liked his tape. I thought he would get more of an opportunity. Samaj P. Ryan, how many
He's
times are you going back to that well?
is Samaje Perine, is he on a 2 was he on a 2-year or a 3-year deal?
I don't know off
You
the
know
top of
what?
my
Go
head.
go ahead and talk and
Well,
I'll look.
But either way, you got to get another younger running back in there. So when we start talking about the draft, and I don't want to get too far into this rabbit hole, but
2-year.
okay. So I don't want to get too far in this rabbit hole, but I want to say,
Yeah.
defense, obviously heavy on the draft picks. I believe we got 7 draft picks this year. So you're talking probably 5, and then I'll be okay if they use 2 on the offensive side, if they get a splash play at either running back, tight end, or interior line.
We have 8.
8. Okay. So 5 and 3 or 6 and 2, I'll be happy with. But only if you get a splash player on an offensive line, running back, or tight end that you feel like it can pay dividends early, go ahead. And running back, you might find that in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, if I was the Bengals, I would draft Price from Notre Dame because he was a backup to Jordan Love. He is a hell of a running back, but I'm not gonna get too far into the draft picking because we're not doing the mock bullshit right now.
But again, you might be able to get him down the
in
road
the 4th,
too.
5th round.
Yeah. So, but I think we're going to be very defensive heavy because our defense was atrocious.
And we also have Hendrickson, who is up for a contract, which I'm hoping we're going to let him walk out the door. And if there is a chance in hell that they decide to, let's give you a contract, he better give us a Cincinnati hometown discount of $15 million. Because he ain't getting 30. After last year's, he ain't getting 30 million. And I don't think he's getting 30 million anywhere, to be honest with you.
You know the old saying, man, the odds of Trey Hendrickson staying in Cincinnati are slim and none. And Slim done left town.
Yeah, I agree.
He gone. And look, and shame on the Bengals if they tag him. That's crazy. Just let the man go.
I would not waste my tag on him.
No.
Period.
No. All right, so we got to end with something decent. That's the shitburger part of this, right? So we're going to end on, I don't know if we're allowed to say Super Bowl, but damn it, I'm going to until I get in trouble. I think it's stupid. They don't allow. Why would you not want someone talking about the most important game in your sport? Not using that name. It's got to say the big game. Come on, man. It's a Super Bowl. We should be able to talk about the damn Super Bowl.
Who said we can't talk about the Super Bowl or call it a Super Bowl?
I just hear it called a big game everywhere. Like you gotta pay to say it and advertise it. You gotta do this and do that.
Did the Super Bowl get canceled by a bunch of white people in Minnesota or what?
I don't know, man. It just needs to be the Super Bowl. Like, why would you not want? It's the most important thing you got going on in your sport. You should want everybody talking about it, using the name of it. Like, you didn't do this, 40 years ago when you wanted to grow it. I'll tell you that. So I know you got your pickup show coming up on Friday, and you're going to give your 2 cents and everything. Well, I'll let you do this. Whatever you want to talk about, you're looking forward to seeing, or whatever. And then whatever questions you want to ask me about the Super Bowl, I'm going to let you take the floor here and do that so I don't ruin your show with Justin on Friday.
Oh, you're fine, man. So, So we have the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, the Seahawks versus the Patriots in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. But Brandon, I know there's a lot of a lot of stuff going around. People are saying, "Hey, the Patriots are, they had an easy schedule. They just, they had an easy the whole season long, and then they, stepped up in the playoffs, and they beat the Chargers, they beat
Yep.
the Texans, then they beat the Broncos."
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
all of those teams injured? Go ahead, keep going.
all of those teams are injured, and in the snow, weather played a lot of factors in those games as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your opinion on the Patriots? Like, how do you feel about the Patriots schedule and what they've done from when Mike Vrabel came in to the team's locker room, took over, and now they're in the Super Bowl?
I'll start with this. Mike Vrabel was a great hire. He's a very good coach.
Amen.
I like the culture there going forward and everything. I will also say that they had a rabbit's foot shoved directly up their arse this year. They had, like you've mentioned, had a very soft schedule. They got pretty lucky when they played people who was injured, who was out, even through the playoffs. Same thing happened. So, yeah, I don't think the Patriots are tried and true tested. And you turn around and look at the Seahawks on the opposite side of that. The Seahawks have been playing playoff football since week 15.
Amen.
Sam Darnold has shook the ghosts that he was seeing. It played good. It played great in big games. Outdueled Matt Stafford, who I have as the MVP of the league. So good on him. And that defense is for real.
Yeah.
I when this line came out at -4.5, some of the betting crews that I run in and whatnot were like, I'm not going to get on it yet because, this betting will go down because of the Patriots mystique and blah, blah, blah. You'll be able to get it 3.5 or 3. I jumped on it at 4.5. That thing ain't going down.
Right.
Smart. The shark money is going to go on Seattle. So I like Seattle in this game. I think Seattle's a 2-score winner in this game.
About what? So what do you think about the score? You think it's gonna be like 31-17 score?
27-13.
27-13. I like that.
Yeah, I think I just don't see the Patriots. I watched what they did, and yes, weather was a factor in Denver. But before the weather, they couldn't move the ball in Denver. They had one decent drive. I watched them against Houston, not look, Now they're going to play Seattle. Seattle's defense is better than either one of those. Barring some weird injury or something, I just like Seattle in this matchup. I think they're a more physical team. I think they're a more polished team. I think they're a more ready team. And I like them to go in their way.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I've been, on our NFL show, I always told Justin, I told everybody that everybody was listening. I said, whoever wins out of the Seahawks and the Rams, we're winning the Super Bowl.
That was a Super Bowl game to me too.
That was a Super Bowl game. Even for week 5, I said Matt Stafford is playing MVP football, and he's going to keep playing MVP football throughout the entire season. And I did say they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. But the Seahawks, what McDonald did with that team from when he first took the team out onto the field his very first season, because I do watch Seahawks football here as well. I remember McDonald, it was like a fourth and 1. He pulled the team off, was like, no, punt the ball. We're done with that. We're just gonna 3 and out, we get out of here, right? Now play calling's different. They're aggressive, they're running the ball on like 3rd and 19 and getting first downs. The defense is stepping up and getting pressure on the quarterback and on the running backs, because if you guys look at what the Seahawks have done to CMC all year long. They've shut him down. When it came to the last 2 games they played against the Rams, they handled Williams and Blake Corum pretty damn well. For the Patriots, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because the Patriots really only have their run game that they can really lean on. For them to have to lean on Stevenson, which we know who likes to fumble the ball. He loves to fumble the ball. And Trevion Henderson, they're going to have to lean, and hopefully that Seattle defense, I think they're going to keep holding them and playing great defense. I think it's, like I said, I think it's going to be probably a 31-17 game. That's what I'm going to predict. But real quick, though, because you're a betting man, Brandon, and then we can do whatever you want to do after this, because we talked about the Super Bowl. This Super Bowl game's coming up. Like, what kind of bets are you looking at to place for this game? Are you going to be looking at, like, the over/under? You're going to look at, of course, you're going to look at over/under. Who's going to win the game? But any side bets like receiving yards, anytime touchdowns, passing yards, or who do you think is going to be MVP?
So you kind of bookend what I'm really looking at.
Right.
I'm heavy on Seattle -4.5. And then I don't like a ton of other stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't like a ton of other stuff. So I'm kind of going towards like novelty props are always fun, right? The squares, I'm in some squares and all that kind of jazz. So those are kind of where I'm going. Let me see if I can pull up the I'm trying to find the line for the game. I can't find it here, team. I can't find my. I want to be in the futures here. Nope, that's in 2027. So the long story short of it, I don't like a ton of other stuff. So most of it's going to be novelty bets and all that stuff. Seattle's where I'm going to lay the most money. If I'm going to go like Seahawks MVP, I think a lot of people are probably thinking Darnold there. I like Kenneth Walker.
Yeah,
I like the running back.
Too.
So I was hoping to find some odds there. Unfortunately, I couldn't in short time. But I think you'll get better odds with him too than you will be with quarterbacks and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing is, could I see a defensive player possibly jumping up here and getting it? Maybe.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Hey, the last Seahawks Super Bowl that they won, there was a defender that won Super Bowl MVP.
But I think Kenneth Walker gets at least 2 tutties in this one.
I think so too.
I think he'll be the guy scoring the touchdowns.
Yeah, even though I want to see positive play from Sam Darnold and Jason. Jason playing great all this year. And for all you Sam Darnold haters or doubters out there, just put that to rest. He's in the Super Bowl.
But listen, Vrabel comes from that Bill Belichick tree where it's
you're right.
You take away their biggest threat, make you beat them some other way, and I think they're going to try everything in their power to take JSN away. In 2 weeks to try and figure out how to take him away. So I think they'll have more success running the ball. I think they're more physical.
I agree.
All right. Well, that's all I got, man. We're going to get out of here. Save the people some time. Any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, everybody come Friday at 6:30 Eastern. Come check out Justin and I as we do our Super Bowl show, our coverage of the show. We're gonna do our pick'ems and everything. You got a little preview of what I was given, but Brandon kind of handed me over the thing and wanted me to take over that. But thanks again for watching the show. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and you share with your friends.
I dig it. Listen, man, it's about ready to be sad. We got one game left, and then we're in the off season. I got to start getting ready for March Madness and the draft. But it is what it is. We appreciate you guys rocking with us each and every week. Once again, we'll be back here next week. We'll talk about what we thought of the Super Bowl, how the commercials were, and all that other BS. Thank you for rocking with us, and catch us again next week as we are running through the jungle.